Welcome back to another episode of Fire Emblem Three Houses, what could possibly be the final episode. I thought there was going to be a part 2 to that final fight, like there was in Dimitri's playthrough, but I mean, I guess not for Claude. Claude's playthrough seemed pretty easy compared to Dimitri's, but alright. Save your progress. Alrighty.
It's over. We were only able to beat her because
Wow,
of you.
that really is it. I just kill her.
This wasn't the conclusion I had hoped for, even though I... Never mind. It's over now. The important thing is that we won.
Here, boy. A letter. An Imperial General asked me to give it to you.
A letter? Let's see it. It looks like it's from Hubert, Edelgard's vassal.
If you are reading this letter, that means I have perished. As Her Majesty would never surrender to another, I can only assume she has fallen as well. It greatly pains me to think of this coming to pass. That said, as the survivors, I must ask you to settle certain affairs in our stead. You must destroy the threat that slithers in the dark. I am sure you must recall Monica and Tomas. Their allies yet live. They hold deep resentment against the children of the goddess and the people of the world. And they are biding their time until they can exact revenge. If left to their own devices, it is certain they will eventually bring unimaginable calamity and suffering to the world. I detected their sorcery when you took Fort Mercius. I have deduced the location of their stronghold, Shambhala. You will find its whereabouts enclosed. There is no question that they are the enemies of everyone in Fodlan. Do not allow yourselves to forget that. Lastly, while I cannot say she is in good health, the Archbishop resides in a secret chamber in the Imperial Palace. I have shared the location of the entrance to that secret chamber with the person to whom I have entrusted this letter. I believe that Her Majesty will be victorious. Even still, I must plan for her defeat as well. If you wish to lead this world, I challenge you to rise to the occasion and surpass my estimation of you. Such is your obligation as the victors, and the only fitting tribute to all that Lady Edelgard sacrificed.
Hubert, to leave a letter like this behind.
Woo.
You were a better man than I believed you to be. So, Rhea is alive, and the fight isn't over yet.
What?
Those who slither in the dark. It sounds like Fodlan will never know peace unless we defeat them.
Is there another fight?
The allies of Monica and Tomas. Well, we knew about them already. I think it's safe to assume this is the same group who used Lysithea for their blood experiments. And they were also responsible for the javelins of light that destroyed the fortress. But who were these children of the goddess who they supposedly resent? There's just not enough information here. I don't suppose there's any chance that this is his idea of a prank. If so, wow, good one. Hubert, rather than writing a letter, you should have just told us before we fought.
Let's ask Rhea about it, even though I don't think she's going to be very talkative.
Right. We still don't know for sure if this letter is telling the truth. Let's go find out.
You have come to save me. Is this a dream? I have longed to see you again, all this time. Is it truly you?
No.
Claude, I can see you have grown into a reliable young man. Thank you for supporting the professor, and for rescuing me. Surely the protection of the goddess has...
Wait, Rhea.
We ain't
What
saving
do you
you.
know about the children of the goddess?
Children of... What is this about?
Forgive my bluntness. Someone from the Empire filled us in on a few things. I know it must be painful for us to ask you difficult questions after such an arduous confinement. But we have no choice. We must defeat a secret enemy. Those who slither in the dark. Do you know about them?
Those who slither in the dark.
Apparently, they resent the children of the goddess and the people of the world, and are planning something big, something terrible.
She doesn't
They use
want to
blood
talk.
for their wicked magic and are capable of dropping javelins of light from the sky, which are powerful enough to crush a fortress. If you can think of anything at all, please tell us now. We need to know as much as possible about these enemies in order to stop them.
You're looking at them.
This is the critical moment that will determine whether or not Fodlan falls. Can't you see that the time for secrets has passed?
It is true that there is a group of people who have slithered in the darkness and threatened the peace of Fodlan since ancient times. I am sure you have heard the stories of a man named Nemesis.
The King of Liberation.
Nemesis, the King of Liberation. He's the hero to whom the goddess gave the Sword of the Creator.
Nemesis was originally the leader of a group of bandits. He plundered the Holy Tomb and stole the remains of the progenitor god. When Nemesis appeared in Xanadu some time later, he already wielded the Sword of the Creator.
And Zanado. I think I need a fruit from Zanado. Can we go there?
According to legend, the goddess gifted him the sword to fight against the evil gods.
I do not know how Nemesis obtained the sword, or why he appeared in Xanadu, but he used that sword to massacre the people there, the children of the progenitor god. From their corpses he gained even more power, and brought war to Fodlan.
That's completely different from what the legends tell us about Nemesis.
A mere bandit like Nemesis would not have been capable of anything so monstrous on his own.
Aha! So Nemesis had accomplices.
Unless he had a reason to.
Those accomplices must have been those who slither in the dark. They used Nemesis. And this time, they used the Imperial Army to once again bring war to Fodlan. I finally get it. And I even understand why Edelgard was associating with them. Just as they were trying to use the Empire was trying to use them. Rhea, there's still a mountain of things I need to ask you. And I will. But I'll leave all of that for another day. You must be weak after living in confinement for so long. Please rest for a while. My friend, let's prepare for battle. We need to strike Shambhala as soon as possible.
What?
You must not allow Fodlan's bloody history, the Red Canyon tragedy, to repeat itself.
Is this not the last episode?
It occurs to me that we never got an answer from Rhea about the children of the
Oh
goddess.
my gosh. I'm pretty sure the children of the goddess were like test subjects, and I think Edelgard was one of them. Like, not from Nemesis time period, but they were always children of the goddess. They were test subjects. They were supposed to take on the... What were they supposed to do? They were supposed to, like, have a god occupy their vessel. And it was, like, terrible, and Nemesis killed them all, so it would be stopped. But the Nemesis was killed, and it just started right back up again. Like, there's a whole fucking conspiracy or something. And the Church of Saros is actually not as nice as it seems. But I don't know. There's a video about the plot on YouTube, and it's really good. I'm not linking it. I don't feel like looking for it.
She did say that the people of the Red Canyon were the children of the progenitor god, so I suppose so. But those evil guys continued to plot their revenge even after the Red Canyon tragedy. Does that mean some of the children of the goddess or their descendants are still alive?
Edelgard. Rhea Flan me. Me. The children of the goddess or the descendants are still alive. Don't know much about Flame. Rhea is like not it. I'm pretty sure it's me.
Huh. Maybe? Though I get the feeling you're something else altogether. What are these children anyway? And how are they connected to the goddess?
Maybe it's Flame.
I almost disappeared into the bottomless swamp that is my mind. I thought that after we defeated the Empire, I'd be able to see that sight I longed to see.
What site is that?
I've told you about my dreams before. I want to break down the wall separating Fodlan from the outside world. The sight I want to see lies beyond that. Honestly, it's a trivial thing to fixate on. Just people, gathered in their towns, living out their lives together, sometimes laughing, sometimes fighting. But the people living there aren't just citizens of Fodlan. There are people from Dagda, Bridget, and even Dusker and Srang. There could be people who were born in Elmira, or countries even farther east there, too. All of those people living together like it's nothing special at all. That's the sight I long to see. It's so simple, but still so far away. But this is no time for complaining. We need to focus on capturing Shambhala. Let's hurry up and gather everyone together.
If we must. We actually about to do another battle. This is completely different from Dimitri's play.
So, you mean to tell me that Fodlan will fall to ruin if we leave those guys be?
If this map is reliable, their base is just south of my family's territory.
This story is a bit much to believe. And yet...
It does ring true, somehow.
Remember Monica, the one who killed Gerald, and the old man who was masquerading as Tomas? They were their allies, and the Flame Emperor and the Death Knight were merely their pawns.
The people who were after my blood? They were also the ones who used me to conduct their blood experiments.
As awful as it sounds, they're seemingly fond of using blood in their secret techniques.
Ugh, that's really gross. I could never be friends with someone like that.
I believe they were also responsible for the Javelin of Light that destroyed Fort Mercius.
Hold up, boy. Do you really think that we can win against such powerful foes?
I don't know. But we have to try, don't we?
Claude would like this answer. This is for Fodlan's future.
We've really taken on something big. I wonder if our names will go down in history.
My heroic name, passed down to future generations? A worthy cause indeed.
They were trying to use the Imperial Army to plunge Fodlan into war, but we nipped that in the bud. Now we just need to tear out their roots. And I know we have what it takes to do it.
Well, yes, I would love to save right here. Hey, there's one of the professors. Wonder what happened to him.
Part 2. Verdant Wind. Blue Sea Moon. We're not gonna do another battle. I have no idea what's gonna become of this. I'll learn more about the story, I guess. What? I get a whole nother month? Am I even going to be able to... Oh, it's my birthday? Am I even going to be able to finish this game today?
I just don't get it.
What is it, Claude?
Those Javelins of Light. They were trying to use it to kill us at Fort Mercius, right? But then why not drop it on Garrig Mach? They must have known for a while that we were here.
It is not that they chose to refrain, but rather that they were unable to do so.
Rhea, how are you feeling?
I am well enough. I cannot afford to rest while Fodlan is in danger.
What do you mean when you say they couldn't drop a Javelin of Light here?
Once, a very long time ago, a massive ball of light fell upon this monastery. However, that light mysteriously changed course in mid-air and landed in Aelel instead.
ALL, the Valley of Torment. So that's what the wreckage of those Javelins of Light looks like.
The Holy Tomb is not only the location of the progenitor god's eternal slumber, but also a sacred vessel for a power that repels evil. Supposedly, the progenitor god built the Holy Tomb herself to protect her children from the evil light.
So the children of the goddess gathered in Xanadu because of its proximity to the monastery? But we've fought at distant locations many times.
Despite that, the Javelins of Light only fell on Fort Mercius.
In his letter, Hubert said that he detected their magic when the fort fell. In other words, because they used a Javelin of Light, Hubert was able to pinpoint the location of their base.
So they didn't use it before then because they didn't want us to know where their base is?
In any case, those Javelins of Light must be something they can't just use whenever they want. And they finally decided to use one at Mercius, where they were sure they'd be able to finish us off. It's only thanks to the whims of the Death Knight that we escaped with our lives. And no Javelins of Light have fallen since then.
It's possible that the enemy hasn't yet realized that we've learned the location of their base.
If so, their guard may be down, which makes this the perfect time for a surprise attack.
I will accompany you.
What? No, that would be far too dangerous. Your long confinement weakened you greatly, did it not?
Those people have opposed us since ancient times. I wish to learn the truth about them for myself.
I understand. I will not stop you, but please take care not to overexert yourself.
We don't know exactly what we're up against here, but having you around is very reassuring, Rhea. Let's prepare to strike at Shambhala before they make their next move.
Let us prepare indeed, then. Alright, before I forget...
Hey, Ignatz. Drawing again?
I am. I suppose. But ever since we last spoke...
Like I said, it's your...
Alright, I'll try...
More just double-checking this...
Okay.
That...
I'll try to discuss it with my parents after the... In fact, painting might be a more reliable way...
Good point. Me. I'm going to be...
A mercenary and...
Even after the war's over, there'll be... I'll pay what I owe my village back.
I'm sure you can do whatever you...
Hardly. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't think there's any rush.
Travel, huh?
Huh?
Sure. You were really excited. Don't you want more of that? Maybe even...
Yes.
If your parents object, we'll just say I kidnapped you. Actually, feel free to say that.
Oh no, I want to...
Hey, hold on. What's this all of a sudden?
Oh,
There's never a dull moment with... Today was a great day for fishing.
It was, though I did lose to you in number.
You won on size, though. Some of these...
It is a lovely specimen. The fins are rather like wings, and but I have heard...
It's a little bland, but it's not bad. There are lots of little bones, too, so you need...
You truly are an expert, Leone.
Happily. You know, once this war... I'm sure none of it will compare to your wife's cooking, though.
Entirely different styles. I very much look forward to seeing what yet another reason to end this war swiftly.
I'm flattered, but that doesn't seem...
On the contrary, it is better than the usual reason. In the heat of battle, it is little
I have to say, I didn't expect, but I really value our fish. With all the chaos, it's great to...
I hope there will come a time when we can fish
Hope's not enough. We need to build that future with our own...
Agreed. But even after I've grown quite fond of your...
Don't worry.
Let me lend you a hand.
What a great start.
Nice work. Here you go. Drink up.
Oh, thank you. This water tastes...
Your shouts are really coming from the...
I'm not so sure I'm stronger, but although my brother becomes very anxious... I do suppose my body feels a bit
Oh no, thank you!
but doesn't all this
Nah, don't worry about that. My muscles work overtime.
isn't that wonderful? It is my wish that some
I'm sure they will. If you really want to get there, you've already got big brain.
invincible. I like.
Flame.
Here to pester me, brother?
No, I think I'm the one who ought to be
Regardless of what I say to you, it is not as though it has any
That is true. No matter where you are. But that's only because I treasure you. Please understand,
Of that I am well aware. I am touched that you care so deep. When I think of it, I cannot blame you.
No, the fault is entirely. You were still so young. I placed worse. I failed to watch you during the battle. Your mother, too. Afterward, it broke my heart to see how much you would need to rest. I swore that I would dedicate every moment remaining in my life.
Ever since then, I have been afraid of falling asleep. My fear of sleeping is outmatched only by my fear of even if it cannot last. I want to live among my peers as one of them, similar to how you and Mother coexisted with your own comrades back then.
Quite right. I know you must leave the nest someday. No matter how many ages our lives may span, I know that...
Father.
Don't.
Nobody is listening, Father. Let me address you as such just this one. I have valued the quiet days you and I have spent alone together, but I am no longer a child. Just as you and Mother met one another, and eventually I was brought into the world.
I know. No matter what happens, you are my daughter. It gives me great joy to see you grow. But please, at least until this war is over, let me continue. You're the most precious person in my life.
It seems I have no choice in the matter. I shall allow you to worry about me enough for yourself and Mother, but only that much and no more, my dear Father Keyhole.
Thank you.
All right. Ouch. Oh, I just hit the corner of my table. Do you want to do it for this episode? I guess it's not the final episode. I know. Shocker. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.